there, welcome to our very first lecture proper in software architecture and design. This video is about the fundamentals of our subject matter, software architecture and design. After watching this video, you will learn the definition of software architecture and its importance in software development. You will understand the function and part of software design in a software development and software architecture. You will be able to identify the primary and some of the important goals of software architecture that affects the structure of a software application. You will be able to enumerate some of the important quality attributes of a system that needs to be addressed by the software architecture. And last, you will understand the role of software architect in a software system and software development team. Assuming magpapagawa ka ng bahay, bago ka magpagawa ng bahay, it's important na magpagawa ka muna ng architectural blueprint ng bahay mo to consider the factors that may affect your goals of building a house. Like for example, the environment, your budget, the type of house that you're building, and others na pwede maka-affect sa goals mo. Pareho din sa software development. In software development, software architecture is one of the most important and critical decisions that needs to be made before mag-start ang development. Let's proceed by describing the software architecture of a system and the contributory factors that affects the software architecture and design. To describe, the architecture of a system describes its major components, their relationships, and how they interact with each other. Pareho din siya sa architecture ng bahay. Looking at the blueprint, you can see there the major components of the house, their structures, and how they interconnect with each other. In software development, the contributory factors that affects the decision making made in software architecture and design are as follows. First, business strategy. Before mo gawin ang isang software, it's important that you understand the vision of the customer, bakit nagpapagawa siya ng software. Next is the IT environment. Before mo gawin ang architecture, it's important na alam mo kung ano yung mga available na technology for you to achieve the vision of the customer. Next is ang human dynamics. You also have to consider the capability and feelings of your software development team. Next would be the design. You also have to consider the design patterns that you need to use that matches the environment, the technologies that will address the vision of your customer. And the most important, the quality attributes. You also have to consider the non-functional requirements that needs to be addressed by the software architecture to exceed the expectations of the customer. Let us define the definition of software architecture. The architecture serves as the blueprint of a system. It provides an abstraction to manage the system complexity and establish a communication and coordination mechanism among components. This allows the stakeholders to understand the architecture and realizing the possibility of the product vision. Software architecture is a plan that gives enough detail to produce a software design, and that introduces software design as a separate activity from the making of software architecture of a system. What is software design? Software design provides a design plan that describes the elements of a system, how they fit and work together to fulfill the requirements of the system. The objectives of the software design is to negotiate the system requirements and to set the expectations with the customers, marketing, and management personnel. The software design acts as a blueprint during the development process that guides the developers in the implementation of the tasks, including detailed design, coding, integration, and testing. Ibig sabihin, ang software design is intended to design a component of a system from the functional requirement of the customers that can be implemented by a developer or a software development team, whereas the high-level architecture is intended for decision making for non-functional requirements. One of the reasons why separate the software design from software architecture is to reduce the complexity of software architecture. Ikumpara natin siya sa architecture ng bahay. Kung ang software blueprint ng bahay, isasali mo doon ang interior design ng bahay, including the furnitures. The house builders will find it complicated to understand the software blueprint, neglecting some of the important requirements that needs to be addressed in building a house, like the stability and maintainability of the house. To understand further the role of software architecture in a software system, let us identify the goals of software architecture. The primary goal of the architecture is to identify requirements that affect the structure of the application, meaning the architectural structure of different software applications doesn't have to be all the same or universal because the architectural structure adapts to the needs of the requirements that needs to be addressed by the architect. In software architecture, there's no such thing as universal structure or pattern that is followed by software architecture that applies to all business problems. Some of the goals of software architecture are as follows. First, expose the structure of the system but hide its implementation. This reduces the complexity of the high-level architecture and gives opportunity to the system design to implement the technical details of implementing the elements and components of the system. Next, realize all use cases and scenarios. And this gives the stakeholders and customers to realize the possibility of the product vision of the system. Next, to address the requirements of various stakeholders. The architectural structure should adapt to the needs of different users of the system. Next, handle both functional and quality requirements. It is important for the architecture to address the functional requirements. But aside from that, it also needs to address the quality requirements such as availability, security, maintainability, and other non-functional requirements. Next, reduce the goal of ownership and improve the organization market position. The software architect should reduce its ownership in decision making and gives opportunities to the software developers to contribute in decision making and thus improving the organization's market position because of the sound decision making. Next, improve quality and functionality offered by the system. The design of the architecture should minimize the defects that can be found in the production environment. Last, improve external confidence in either organization or the system. By using standardized design pattern or technologies, you are giving confidence to the organizations and the system that the architecture that you have designed is working. Isa sa mga primary focus ng software architecture is to address the quality attributes of a software system. The quality attributes are the system properties that are separate from the functionality of the system. The following are some of the important quality attributes that needs to be addressed by the software architecture. First, design qualities. Design qualities allows maintainability and reusability of the components. Runtime qualities. Runtime qualities allows a better performance of the system, availability, and security. System qualities. System qualities allow supportability during maintenance and testability of the system. User qualities improves the user experience of the customer. Architectural quality makes sure the decision made for the architecture is proven and working. Non-runtime quality allows configurability of the system. Next, business quality attributes allows low cost of the development and marketability of the solution. After identifying the set of goals and enumerating the quality attributes that needs to be addressed with the software architecture, nagsasabi lang ito na hindi madali ang maging isang software architect. Ang role na software architect is one of the most precise and difficult role in software engineering. Pag-usapan natin ang role and expertise ng isang software architect sa isang software development. A software architect provides a solution that a technical team can create and design for the entire application. A software architect should have expertise in the following areas. First, design expertise. The software architect should be an expert in software design, including diverse methods and approaches such as object-oriented design, event-driven design, and others. The software architect leads the development team and coordinates the development efforts for the integrity of the design. The software architect should be able to review design proposals and trade-offs among themselves. Next expertise is domain expertise. The software architect should be an expert in the system being developed and the plan for the software evolution. He or she should assist in the requirement and versions process, assuring completeness and consistency. He or she coordinate the definition of domain model for the system being developed. Another expertise is technology expertise. The software architect should be an expert on available technologies that help in implementing the requirement of the customer. He or she coordinates the selection of programming languages, frameworks, platforms, database, and all technical aspects that can affect the structure of the application. Another expertise is methodological expertise. The software architect should be an expert in software development methodologies that may be adapted during SDLC, such as Agile Development or Scrum, XP, and other SDLC methodologies. The software architect should choose the appropriate approach for the development that helps the entire team. The hidden role of a software architect in a software development team is to reinforce the trust and relationship among the team members and protect the team members from external forces that could distract them and bring less value to the project. I hope that gives you a fundamental knowledge about software architecture and software design. In the next lecture, you will learn about the principles and guidelines of software architecture. If you have questions or clarifications, please let us know in the comment section below. And do not forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for more videos.